What is dark rum or black rum? Well, I have touched on this in a previous video, but let's give you the overall basics of this. A dark rum or a black rum is simply, there is no legal definition of it. In my terms, what I would kind of loosely classify as a young to an unaged rum that has been coloured up, and there's a couple of ways that they can colour it up. Now you'll see I have got 4 examples here, but I get cracking out because I kind of want to drill something home. I personally would never kind of characterise or categorise Kraken as a dark or a black rum. You have to think it is a spiced rum. It is completely and utterly different to dark rums. There are no spices, no flavourings, no anything in rums like this. This is a sweetened, spiced rum. So it does, I think it pretty much says it on the label, to be fair. It says a black spiced rum. So please do not think that if you drink that and you love that, you love the sweetness of that, please do not think that you could easily jump to these, because these are a whole different kettle of fish. And the big one I should get out is, I've got it sort of tucked away behind me, you know, is Worthy 109. That is probably, you know, the best example of a proper dark black rum that you could probably get, because there is, from my knowledge, and I might have this completely wrong, from my knowledge, there is actually no colouring in that. That is just been created authentically. Now, in general, when we talk about these rums, they are a little bit sweeter. I'm not talking spiced rum sweetness, but they are a little bit sweetness, because the colouring that they would have used would have been something like a dark brown sugar, or a darker sort of treacle or molasses or something like that, a sweetened up molasses. So they are going to have that kind of taste to them. But I forget this. I think this was, I won't say it, but I've got a 6 in my head, and I think it might have been 16 grams per litre of a dark natural brown sugar. Don't hold me to that, but I think it was kind of rough there. Whereas you get stuff like this, and I don't know the true story of this. Sorry, Dan, if you're watching this, if you want to fill us in, if you do watch my stuff, then drop a comment in below to let me know. But I think that the Worthy 109 purely gets its colour from charred oak casks. So they will char and burn effectively the inside of casks, and then sort of age it in there for, say, 6 months or so. It would pretty much be an unaged rum, but it does pick up its colour from the barrel. But you know full well that rums, especially the more popular dark or black rums, won't go through that process, because they haven't got time to be aging doing that whole aging process. You know, it might take 6 months, it might take a year for that rum to sit in that barrel and get the desired colour off that. And you could probably see that actually that and that, compared to something like the Woods and the Myers, let's get a glass out for the Myers just so you can kind of see it. You know, we have got different shades of, you can see this one's actually kind of lighter. Yeah, it's kind of lighter even more than Worthy. But, you know, you can see the variance in there. And as I say, that is going to be down to the amount of colour that they use and the type of colour that they use. Now, I just want to make this point as well. Again, not naming any names, but some brands will say that they are unsweetened darker black rums because they haven't added any sugar. Well, they could get around that because they haven't added any sugar. But what they have added is maybe the colorant that has got that sweetness to it, whether it's a natural dark sugar or whether it's something else, a treacle or something like that. But these rums are getting a colour, not via aging. So unless you see a dark rum with an age statement on the front of the bottle, then you can pretty much assume that it is an unaged rum. And by that, I'm pretty much mean up to maybe 12 months old. You know, this is the big myth I want to dispel. Do not see any of these rums as 8-year-old, 12-year-old, whatever. You know, they're just not. They're simply lighter rums that have been coloured up, that you probably get a more caramel vibe to them when you taste. Full disclosure, some of my favourite rums. I absolutely adore the Rose Mullion, but for me, it's like that cocktail mixing rum. The whole dark and stormy vibe, rum and ginger beer, phenomenal, love it. I actually really do love dark rum and Coke. Again, amazing. I prefer dark rums in the Hurricane as well, which I love those richer kind of caramel vibes that these rums bring to those cocktails. I wouldn't use them in a daiquiri. I really don't like them in a daiquiri. I certainly wouldn't use them in ginger ale either. But the Cokes, the ginger beers, the Hurricanes, those sort of cocktails, even some of you might enjoy them in a pina colada or something like that. They really do bring a different vibe, and they play, for me, a vital, hugely important role. Biggest takeaway today is they are not aged rums. They are pretty much always unaged.